Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of season 7 here in the career mode RTG. Whilst this is episode 2, it technically is actually going to be more of an episode 1.5 because obviously in the last episode I asked you guys to give your feedback with regards to the striking and the winger options, and well, the YouTube vote didn't really give you the opportunity to give a full in-depth response with regards to each of your individual requests. So what we're doing today, in the description you'll find a straw poll. Don't vote on it yet. I'm going to go through it, show it on screen, and I'll go through it and we can see what the options are, and then you can make an educated, informed decision in multiple areas as to what we do with the side. If you have already gone to the straw poll, do bear in mind that you can vote on multiple options on the straw poll because there are multiple positions that we want decided upon, want to be decided upon in today's episode. So if you look in the description, you can do this on PC, you can do it on your mobile as well if you're watching on tablet or anything like that. You won't be able to do it if you're watching on console, I don't believe, but any other platform you'll be able to go and vote on the vote in the description down below. So we're deciding upon the striker role, we're deciding upon the winger role, we're deciding upon the goalkeeper role, and we're deciding upon what's happening at centre mid. One thing I know for sure is that I want a new starting first team right back. So give me some right back suggestions. Jaden Bogle has been very good, but I think his time as number 1 right back is coming to an end and he'll take a back seat. I want a new starting right-sided defender, please. Centre back, I'm happy. Left back, I'm happy. Cam, I'm happy. It seems you guys are very adamant that you want Ziegler to remain my starting right-sided midfielder and that you want Suarez Garcia to be my backup, both cam and right-sided midfielder. So that's how that particular position is going to be decided. That's the end of that. Now, I'll go through the straw poll as I've got it on screen to my left on my other monitor, and then I'll obviously let you know as we move through what it is that you're voting on. So the first top 2 are with regards to striking role. The overwhelming consensus is that you would like me to start to train Gerzic's finishing again if he stays. As a rule of thumb in this save so far, I've trained the kids to 75 rated and then let them grow on their own from that point. Gerzic has grown from 75 rated to 82 off his own back. His finishing is now 71. But you guys, if he stays, would like me to start to train his finishing. And I would only be training his finishing, not anywhere else, because nowhere else really needs it other than his physicality. But I can't train his stamina, jumping or reactions, so there's not really much I can do in that regard. So the vote for striker is either we sell Gerzic because he's worth more, keep Sabi as our backup striker and sign a brand new starting striker for the first team, or we sell Sabi, who's been a great servant on our rise from League 2 to the Premier League, but at this level doesn't seem to be cutting it. And we unfortunately just have to say thank you for getting us this far, Sabi. Unfortunately, you're not good enough now. We need to move you on. You need to continue to let your career flourish elsewhere. And then we keep Gerzic and train his finishing and then use the money raised to sign another striker. Whether they would be a first team striker or a backup striker, I'm not sure. It depends on the options that you guys would give me, but it would be someone to contend with Gerzic for a first team spot. Obviously, if we sell Gerzic, I'll certainly be signing a number 1 striker. If we sell Sabi, as you guys will be voting, then I will be signing someone to challenge Gerzic for that first team spot. Obviously, we do already have Weah on the shortlist as a potential option should that be the way that we go forward. But that is entirely up to you. That's the first of the 2 votes. First, actually, of the 4 different areas that I'm asking you guys to vote upon. A couple of the areas might need to be decided upon or actioned out in January. The next one is one of those. Obviously, Ademola Lookman on the left-hand side at 86 rated is my starting left-sided midfielder. He was our highest goal scorer last season, one of our best players. The decision is what we do with the backup role. Now, obviously, Uno, unfortunately, at the end of yesterday's episode, picked up an injury that sees him out for 2 months, meaning he won't be fit to be sold in this window if you guys vote for that to happen. So, the decision is, do I sell Uno and keep Adebola, or do I sell Adebola and keep Uno? If the decision is to keep Uno, then I can action that transfer in this window. If the decision is to sell Adebola, I will have to wait until January to sell Uno, because obviously he's injured currently and I can't move him on. I'll give you a closer look at their stats. You can see them here. Physically, Uno is better, although it's only really in the balance, reactions, well, obviously sprint speed is 99 for Uno, and then stamina and strength. Adebola lacking physically, but technically Adebola is much better. Ball control similar-ish, crossing much better on Uno's side, dribbling much better on Uno's side, finishing much better on Uno's side, heading accuracy as well, long shots, short passings, 10 better. Penalties is in Uno's favour, but neither of them would take penalties. Volleys, Adebola. So it's up to you. If you vote for Adebola to leave, then I can sell him in this window and use the money elsewhere. If you vote for Uno to leave, then I would have to keep him until January, then sell him, and we'll be able to move on from there. So that wouldn't see another left-sided midfielder come in. It's purely to decide which of the two leaves, and the other one remaining will be the backup to Ademola Lookman. The sale of the left-sided midfielder, either Adebola or Uno, won't result in a new left-sided midfielder coming in, just so you're aware. Moving on from there, the decision at goalkeeper is an interesting one. I've decided I do want to sell Green. We'll be keeping Dimitar Mitov as my current backup goalkeeper, because obviously he and Bradley Halliday are the two remaining original Cambridge United players in the squad. I don't want to sell those on. But the decision is, do I also sell Angus Gunn and buy a new first team goalkeeper? Angus Gunn came second in the Golden Glove competition last year, keeping 13, I believe, clean sheets in the Premier League. But it's up to you whether he leaves. He's, at the end of the day, 79 rated, and there is the opportunity to improve there if you would like me to. So on the vote as well, you will have the opportunity to select either buy a new first team keeper or don't buy a new first team keeper. If the winning outcome is buy a new first team keeper, then Angus Gunn will be sold or used in the deal to bring in a new goalkeeper. If you say don't buy a new first team keeper, then we'll leave Angus Gunn as my starting number one, and we'll be fine to move on from there. Now, I do want to sell Elliot Lee. Technically, he's superb. Physically, he is not, and I don't get on with him in game. And at the end of the day, that is far more important than what these stats say in the menus. He has great ball control and dribbling, great long shots, maxed out short passing and stand tackle, but I don't like him in game, and I don't play well with him. We saw last season how much less effective we were with him in the side ahead of Oscar Hill, in that centre mid role alongside Tom Davies. So Lee is to be sold. The decision is whether we replace Hill in the starting lineup or sign a backup to Oscar Hill. The options at the bottom of the vote are sell Lee and buy a new starting centre mid to play ahead of Oscar Hill, so that Hill will then drop to the bench and a new player will play alongside Tom Davies, or whether we sell Elliot Lee and sign a backup player to Oscar Hill. Obviously, they will still probably be higher rated than Oscar Hill, but Hill is so effective in that defensive role that the fact that he's only 79 rated doesn't matter. We are inadvertently in a couple of training slots training his passing stats so that his overall comes up a bit, but he's got 90 slide and stand tackle, 92 ball control, and physically he's brilliant too, with the jumping, the stamina, and the strength. And obviously he's quite quick with 77 acceleration and 79 sprint speed. So his effectiveness in game far outweighs his lower rating. So it's up to you guys. Elliot Lee will be sold in this window. The decision is whether the incoming central midfielder will either start ahead of Elliot Lee or be backup. Start ahead of Oscar Hill or be backup to Oscar Hill. I'll also obviously be selling Bauman. We have Baker as a backup centre mid, and obviously young Patrick Turner as well, but neither are good enough to be the backup to Hill, nor obviously are they good enough to start ahead of Oscar Hill. So I am going to need that extra man. Rob Gray we're looking to sell on. Baker and Turner will stay. I might loan them, but they will stay at the club or employed by the club, and then we shall decide from there. We do, of course, striker as well have Monnier, and he will be my backup to my backup, obviously. He'll be my third choice striker, but the decisions are entirely up to you. But I wasn't able to gather enough information from the feedback in the last episode to make the decision, or the important decisions in this episode, without gathering more specialized responses from you guys via this poll. So you can vote multiple times, not multiple times on different occasions, but multiple times. You can select multiple options when you vote. So you can click one of the two striker options, one of the two midfielder or left mid options, one of the two goalkeeper options, and then one of the two centre mid options before hitting the vote button. And then I'll get your feedback accordingly and be able to act upon it for tomorrow's episode, where we shall then be selling some players and signing some players. So we're not going to be advancing anywhere in today's episode. I purely need your feedback, and this is going to be massive for the future of the series, because this is going to be the biggest turnaround we've seen of players in any given episode that will have a massive impact on the first team. There have been some ridiculous transfers go through in this season already. Obviously, we're currently on the 2nd of August. So we've done the pre-season tournament, maximised our profit as things stand. We've got a transfer budget of 65 million, wage budget of 153. But I do have some players that we're obviously looking to sell on. Elliot Lee's on the transfer list. He's valued at £28.5 million. Obviously, I tried to get a huge fee for him in the last episode and was unable to do so. You guys have given me your feedback on that, and we reckon we could sell him for about 45 to 50 rather than 55 to 60. So we'll try and do that in the next episode tomorrow when we progress forward. Still looking to sell Isaac Morris as well. Probably look to try and get about 20 for him, as we weren't able to get 23. Bauman looks like hopefully he will leave us to go to Malaga if he can agree contract terms. And then we'll wait and see what happens to Gray. And obviously, we will be selling either Gerzic or Sabi as well to add to the funds. If Adebola being sold wins the vote with regards to left mid, then he'll be sold in this window as well. If it's Uno, then that will be done. And then in the January window, and then obviously the goalkeeper situation, we either will make a sale or we won't make a sale. So there's a lot going to happen in the window. There's a lot going to happen this season. But one of the big, in fact, there's been two massive bids go through in this window so far, and I shall show you them now. Are you ready? One of them is quite possibly the most unrealistic transfer I've ever seen in career mode made by the AI. Are you ready for it? You'll be able to spot it immediately. It's not Paul Pogba going to Inter Milan at the age of 31 for 86.3 million. It's not Memphis Depay going back to Manchester United for 67.2 million. It's a 32-year-old, still 88 rated Neymar for 79.8 million, moving to Sassuolo in Serie A. Sassuolo. Neymar is now a Sassuolo player. What is life? I don't know if Sassuolo are in the Champions League. We'll have a look. They are not. Are they in the Europa League? Sassuolo are in the Europa League. An 88 rated Neymar for 80 million has gone to Sassuolo, playing Europa League football next year in Serie A. That's quite possibly the most unrealistic transfer I've ever seen in career mode. It's certainly up there if it isn't the most unrealistic transfer. So I really need all of your feedback now. Let me know in the comment section which way you voted on each of the 4 criteria that you have at your disposal, and then we shall push forward from there as to... Well, basically, I'm going to take the feedback and we'll push forward in tomorrow's episode and actually make some sales and make some signings. But this is a massive window. You guys do seem to enjoy the fact that we're not necessarily struggling, but it's not been a case of promotion, qualify for the Champions League or win the title, then win the Champions League. There has been extra seasons involved where we haven't performed as a normal RTG tends to do on YouTube, where it's just win, 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 win. I will also be looking to introduce some new slider settings for this season in the RTG and in the Achieve and Leave series once we finish the season with Dortmund there as well. I haven't yet decided on which slider settings I'm going to go for, but once I have, I will show you them probably at the beginning of tomorrow's episode. So between recording this one and recording tomorrow's, I'm going to get your feedback. I'm going to decide upon what sliders we're going to use to make it harder. Obviously, we're playing on Ultimate anyway, but I've been playing on default Ultimate the entirety of the time. Basically, the options are, I've had a couple of slider setting sets offered to me by you guys in the comment section of previous episodes when I've mentioned it. We've got the slider settings we used last year to make Legendary harder. They may work well in making Ultimates harder this year as well. So I might use my FIFA 18 sliders on FIFA 19. Alternatively, I could ask Danny, because I know that he uses sliders to make his Ultimate series harder. And he's quite extreme as far as I can recall as well. So we'll wait and see what we do. But for now, it's all up in the air. And it's down to you guys what happens next. So please click on that straw poll link in the description down below. Make sure you vote on everything you want to vote for. You select everything you want to vote for before hitting that vote button. And then we shall make the decision in tomorrow's episode. But it's huge today. This episode is going to have far-reaching consequences for the entirety of the remainder of the series. So it's a massive one. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies, it's just been me waffling, but this is absolutely necessary for the future of the season and the future of the series that we have this episode right now. So we'll be advancing tomorrow, and I'll be making a number of signings and making a number of sales probably in tomorrow's episode as well. But for now, click on the link in the description, have your say in the comment section, and I will see you tomorrow.